Hey YouTube, military gun guy here. I got something from my own personal collection today. This is a MLE or model 1892 French Ordnance Revolver. Just got it in. Bought it in this condition. As you can tell, it's in actually fairly sad shape. It is a 1921, as you can tell by the barrel marking, maybe there. It's MLE 1892 plus the French ordnance stamps and whatnot, the serial number, where it was made and whatnot. This is kind of a unique pistol. It shoots an 8mm Lebel. It's a black powder round actually, so I'll probably be just loading some trail boss for it. Ammunition is next to impossible to find, as usual with anything I own. And so I've heard that you can make ammo out of 3220. You have to cut down the brass, and I believe you can use 3220 dies. Don't quote me on that until I actually get ready to shoot this thing, and then we'll go from there. It's a very interesting weapon. It's a typical 6-shot revolver in the 8mm Lebel, which is a fairly underpowered round. But these are very reliable, and so they were popular up until, I believe, through World War II. The original ones were strawed with the, those ones were blued with strawed parts. They had the Arsenal refinish ones that were Parkerized. So I am going to go for an Arsenal refinished look on this one. You can tell the amount of just pitting and rust. It was very poorly taken care of, unfortunately, which is why I bought it. I like to take the dog beaters and make them my own. These are actually pretty interesting. It looks like it's loose, but it's actually not. With these, when you pull back the hammer, you still have some play, but when you actually pull the trigger, locks it up extremely tight. I believe the Lebel revolver was designed the same way. So there's no issues with timing on this thing. I haven't shot it because I have no ammo, but I actually want to refinish it, bring it back to its former glory, and then we'll take it out and put some rounds down range, provided I can find some. So what I'm going to do, the interesting thing is you basically pop that open, and this opens to the left. The right, I'm sorry. So the French did things sort of backwards. I'm going to be taking this thing apart completely and get it ready for bead blasting. I'm going to send it out to get bead blasted, get all the crud off of it. I have never taken one of these apart, so I'm just going to kind of go as I think will work. So I'm going to start by taking this screw out. And you can see that, and make sure you are always using a good quality hollow ground bits, just because you don't want to round this thing off. This is actually screwed in from the inside. Sorry if I got disappeared there for a minute. Like I said, I've never taken one of these apart, so this is going to be a first time for me, probably a first time for you if you've never seen one of these. So if I fuck it up, it's going to be completely my fault. But it looks fairly basic. I gotta get this screw out a little bit more. There actually are primers on how to get these things apart. I am not going to read one, mainly because I'm stubborn. But this actually hinges, which I did read is normal. And then you have your left side grip, should just work its way out. This thing probably hasn't been, it hasn't been taken apart in probably 1,000 years. Okay, this will probably just pop out and hurt me. Okay, that's your spring. This is going to come right out. Okay, you have your hammer. Most of the stuff, once you get a couple of screws out, it looks like it just kind of falls apart. Everything's going to be sent off. Everything's going to be bead blasted because everything is in terrible shape. And if you know me and you've been following my channel, you know that I can't have that. These are semi-collectible. They run, I don't know, 400 to sometimes as high as 1,000. I've seen on Gunbroker. A little ridiculous, but whatever. It's their gun. They can charge whatever they want. I didn't pick this one up for too much. Apparently this screw is not going to want to come out, so we'll have to soak that one a little bit. Okay, so what else do we have? Take this screw out. Majority of the screws on this thing were strawed, the hammer was strawed, and the trigger was strawed. So I will be reproducing that look. Okay, trigger guard just pops right off. Nothing much to it. Looks like it's a solid milled one piece. The bluing actually inside is pretty nice. It's just the outside had just a ton of rust and pitting, and somebody didn't take care of this poor thing. So we are going to make it our own. these are pretty straightforward to take apart. You know, if you have any mechanical inclinations, this stuff should just come right off for the most part. Maybe with a little bit of tapping here and there. All of this is going to be sent out to the bead blaster. I'll probably go on Monday because he's kind of excited about one of my latest treasures. This actually has a set screw. So if you can't get this thing out, don't force it, don't tap it, don't hammer it, don't do anything. Look underneath. French do weird things, as did the Japanese, as did the Americans. So you pop this little set screw out, and I venture to say that this screw will just drop right out. And there it goes. So those two go like that. Typically also what I do when I send stuff to get bead blasted is that I will actually have, let's see if this taps forward. It's not an official tool, I know, but this is actually under spring tension, so try not to. All right. So this spring actually holds the cylinder in place, which looks like a nice robust spring. And this looks like it's just press fit as well. Most of the stuff looks like you can just pry right out. Try not to force it though. You know, you don't want to bend things that you can't easily fix. Parts of these things are damn near impossible to find. This is missing the lanyard. I did see where somebody had used an Uncle Mike's. He'd used an Uncle Mike's swivel to make a lanyard. It was actually quite clever. Okay, we're back. I just had to get a little hammer to tap this thing out. It's coming out slowly. Try not to bend it in any way, but I may have to do a little bit more work on that, and I gotta see how this thing comes off. I'll use see if I can just tap this thing out. Oh, there we go. It unscrews, very nice, and then this should pull right out, and then your spring, and then your extractor, and that's about it. You can see some of the proof marks. Maybe. There we go. There's a proof mark there. Looks like maybe they stamped the serial number. It could also be the numbers of the cylinders, you know. I don't really know. I don't know a lot about these, so I won't even pretend. You know, I mean, I did some research on them, and I'm telling you pretty much what I know. Originally invented or created in 1892, obviously a model 1892. Served the French in World War I and World War II, my understanding. So fairly robust pistol. Like I said, this one just hasn't been taken care of very well. So when I'm done with this is all going to be nice and cleaned and even and have a nice strawed finish. Anything that was originally strawed will be strawed. Anything that was originally blued will be actually black oxided or parkerized, which was an original finish on these. Similar to the Enfields, when they had the factory thorough repairs, a lot of times that they would paint their guns. This one, I've had very little luck painting revolvers. I've tried it with Duracoat. I'm not very good at it. I won't even begin to lie to you. So I just as soon just go with, you know, a finish that I know. Black oxide, I use the Allegheny Arsenal parkerizing, and then I use a Caswell black oxide. The bead blasting will get rid of a lot of this pitting and whatnot. Like I said, this gun was just ignored. It wasn't really even abused. I guess it's abused if you want to think about it. But it was just mainly ignored. Like just nobody paid any attention to this thing, unfortunately. So I will make this thing mine, and we'll get it all cleaned up, and I'll show you the process as usual, and then I can make up some rounds and take this bad boy out and fire a couple rounds downrange and hope we don't blow each other up, or the camera, or the gun. But actually, we're going to be loading some really low trail boss, probably about 3 grains of trail boss under 8mm. I believe the 330 grain. I got to slug the barrel on this. The barrel's not terrible, but it's not great. So yeah, I'll slug the barrel. I'll get an exact. I believe they're 330, similar to the 8x50 Austrian. Actually had the same bore diameter. So I happen to have some ammunition, some bullets for this. You know. So anyway, this is getting long-winded. But when we come back, I'll have this thing all bead blasted and ready to go. I'm going to redo the grips, clean them up really, really nice. I'll strip them, get all the crud and stuff, and 100 or so, 80 years or whatever it is of grime out of it. The bead blasting will actually level a lot of this out. Hopefully, I might have to do a little bit of draw filing on it and a little bit of filing. I really don't want to cut into any of these markings because that would just be sacrilege. But I do want this thing to have a nice original finish and as smooth as I can, given its condition. So when we come back, probably be in a week or so, I'll have this thing in the white and it will be ready to degrease, and then we'll start working on the metalwork part of it, and then go into the parkerizing tank and then the blackening tank and put her back together and see how she shoots. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.